Welcome to another episode of Cash in Session. Liv Moods and Renee Paquette here again. And today I am going to teach Renee about player props, arguably one of my favorite aspects of sports betting. The FanDuel Sportsbook has a great player prop market. So let's jump into it. Renee, do you know
anything? What is a player prop? I don't know what a player prop even is. You're saying these words. I'm like, it sounds great. I've heard the term before. Don't know what it means.
So you have no background knowledge on props?
Nope, none whatsoever.
Great. Well, this is a very popular way to bet the NFL. I've seen a lot more people in the gambling space taking advantage of the prop market. Like I said, the FanDuel Sportsbook has a great one. I always love kind of snooping through there if I don't know what I like in a game. But basically, you are predicting how a specific player is going to perform in the game.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So you're not really looking at the team as a whole, kind of like what we talked about last week. You're looking at, can the team win by this many, lose by this many, whatever. This is specifically looking at one player. So if you're the type of person, and I don't know if this is you, but if you're the type of person that's into fantasy football, you're kind of better at fantasy football than you are predicting wins or losses for a team, this is definitely the best bet for you. Player props and fantasy are kind of similar to one another. I'm sure you've heard of fantasy.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Yes,
so very kind of a similar vibe here. So let's use your team, the Bengals, who are a little bit on the struggle bus right now, but we won't spend too much time on that.
Listen, we don't need to rub it in. I know, we weren't looking to go 0-2 to kick off the season.
Of course not.
But here we are headed into week 3.
So FanDuel will set a specific line for different yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, passing yards. Right now, let's look at Joe Burrow. Shout out Joe Burrow. We're going to check out his passing yards prop. So his line right now is set at 262.5. So if you think he lights it up in the air against the Jets, you would take the over, which would mean as long as he passes over 262.5, so 263 and up, you win your bet.
Okay, I like this.
So you're basically just saying he's up against a bad defense. He's going to totally have a big game. He's going to go off in normal Joe Burrow form. I'm taking the over.
Okay. I feel like that. I mean, that's easy to compute. That my brain is wrapped around. I can handle that. And really, you're looking at the trends of how the last couple of games have been going, looking at the other team, kind of seeing how they're stacking up against Joe, and then making your decision based upon that.
Of course. So it's hard because you love Joe Burrow and he's a really great quarterback, but he's been sacked 5 times.
A million times.
So it's like, okay, can he hit that over 262.5? Can he get 263 or more if he's spending half the game on the ground?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's that kind of, you kind of got to look at like, how does this team defend quarterbacks? What is their pass defense? All that good stuff. You can look at a million different things, but you're basically just saying he has a great game or he struggles. So if you would like to take the under on the flip side, if you think the Jets are going to shut Burrow down, you're basically saying, I'm going to bet the under on his passing yards because he is not going to get over 262.5. So like I mentioned earlier, we do passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards. So the same thing goes for the running backs and the receivers. Joe Mixon's over under right now for that Bengals-Jets game is 73.5. So he needs to get 74 yards or more if you're going to bet the over.
Okay.
So same thing with these receivers, with these running backs. FanDuel sets a line at whatever that number is, and you're just saying, oh yeah, he's totally going over that, or I think he struggles against this defense and he won't hit that. This is a very trendy prop right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook. It is.
Why is it so trendy right now?
I think it's just the thrill. We're all just looking for a little excitement right now,
Gotta get our rocks off, right?
Right.
Gotta get our football rocks off.
Exactly. I'm a Broncos fan. My team looks like trash. So I gotta get a thrill somewhere. And I'm gonna do it with this prop. So this prop is you are betting on a player to score a touchdown.
Okay. I like this a lot.
You get a little bit more value because it's like, all right, Joe Mixon could have a great game, but is he gonna get in the end zone?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of takes a little bit more, I don't want to say luck, but it's a little bit harder to kind of get a read on a bet like that. So you get a little bit more value for this play. Yeah, you get a little bit more value for this play. The numbers listed next to each player are their odds to score a touchdown. So we talked about that a little bit last week where it was like, the plus is the underdog, the minus is the favorite. So you'll probably have a guy like Jamar Chase or Joe Mixon pretty high up in terms of being the favorites for this bet because you kind of expect them to get in the end zone. You may have a player where, it is not expected at all. The value on them is great. So for example, let's break down that value piece because it can get a little confusing.
Okay.
T. Higgins, for example, if you go to the FanDuel Sportsbook right now and you look at anytime touchdown props, that's what this is called in the FanDuel Sportsbook. Anytime touchdown. If you look at T. Higgins, he is plus 130 to score a touchdown. So all that means is a $100 bet on Higgins to get in the end zone wins you $130 back.
Okay.
So you're making back more than you bet. A $10 bet would win you 13.
Okay.
So plus 130, that's basically what that's telling you is $100 wins you $130. So that's the value.
So sorry, you were doing that for T. Higgins?
T. Higgins.
At plus 130. Okay.
Yes.
So say we are looking at like Tyler Boyd, who's at plus 260.
$100 wins you 260 if he gets in the end zone.
Okay. Tyler Boyd, my guy.
Thursday night football, Bills Rams. I took Josh Allen. Not only did I take him to score a touchdown, if you take a quarterback to score a touchdown, it's not a passing touchdown. They have to physically run it into the end zone.
Okay.
Those are also very fun because there's not a lot of times you see QBs getting mobile. So when they do, it's pretty exciting. But I had Josh Allen to get in the end zone for a touchdown. I also had Josh Allen to hit his over on rushing yards because I'm figuring, okay, if he's going to get in the end zone, he's got to run. So I kind of like both of these plays together. That together is called a parlay.
The parlay, baby.
The parlay. Right. So the interesting thing about that particular game is that is a same game parlay.
Okay.
Shout out to FanDuel Sportsbook. They are the OGs of the same game parlay.
They sure are. And
yes,
I feel like I talk about this when I'm, doing the ads for FanDuel during the Sessions podcast. And I'm like, gosh, yeah, these like same game parlays seem real juicy.
They are. Oh, I love it. Look at you using betting words. Juicy. I mean, look at you. I mean, come on.
I'm a natural.
She's like a handicapper now, you guys.
Here we go.
She's going to be selling her picks before you know it. All right. A parlay is essentially just saying you are combining multiple bets into one wager to receive a bigger payout.
Is there a limit on how many bets you can do in a same game parlay?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
However, here's the trick. So you just asked, is there a limit? There isn't, I don't believe, but you should make one because you do get more. Limit. Yeah, personal limit. You do get more money when you win. However, the catch is that every single bet that you combine has to hit in order to get paid.
Oh,
and the amount of time.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, that's so less fun.
It is a little less fun because I'm telling you, the amount of, if you ever go on Twitter and you see somebody talking about, I missed my parlay by one leg.
Okay.
I missed my 9-leg parlay by one leg. Leg in just basically means a bet in a parlay.
Okay.
So that person is saying, I combined 9 bets together,
and just missed one of them,
which would result in a huge payout. I put 9 bets together and one of them did not hit, AKA I made no money. And when I tell you the payout could
and you're already you've got dollar signs in your eyes at that point because you've already hit the other 8.
You've already booked the cruise ship.
Oh, that's devastating.
Time to cancel. Yes, it's awful. So I have seriously seen people who have parlayed 10, 12 bets before and put $1 on them. The payout is so large that some people can turn $1 into like $10,000.
Oh my God.
Because the thought of you correctly betting that many things and being correct, the books, FanDuel, Vegas, they don't believe in you to do that. So they're like, okay, we'll give you 10 grand if you hit this because you're not going to, but it happens. A normal parlay basically means you're combining more than one bet into a parlay, but it's not from the same game. So for example, you could take this weekend slate, you could take the Ravens to have a really big bounce back week and cover that 2.5 point spread, and the Bengals to have a big bounce back week and cover that 6 point spread. So you can put 2 different games into one parlay.
Okay.
So if you wanted to throw another one in, you want to throw an underdog in there, you could take Colts plus 5.5 and add that. if you were to bet on each of those things separately, the Colts plus 5.5, the Ravens minus 2.5, the Bengals minus 6, you'd probably win $10 on each bet, average
That's not that
around.
exciting.
But if you
I like to
combine
up the
all
ante a
three of
little bit.
those, yeah. So if you combine Colts plus 5.5, Ravens minus 2.5, and Bengals minus 6, $10 wins you 57.
Okay. See, now we're talking. Now we're talking a little turkey here.
So there you go. But then again, it's like, okay, the Bengals win and cover, the Ravens win and cover, the Colts don't cover. You don't make money.
What about like the like fun kind of like dumb bets? Like, oh, you know, someone's gonna run across the field, or like are those other things that kind of exist within this world as well?
They do a little bit more of the fun ones during the Super Bowl.
Okay.
You know, sometimes they'll give you the option to guess the Gatorade color, or,
Okay,
you
that's
know,
cool.
different things like that, like the coin toss. They'll let you guess on that. And so there's different, that's usually Super Bowl related.
Okay.
But one that I think is nearly impossible to actually study and be completely correct on with information is the first touchdown scorer. To give you an example, I saw a parlay once. I think one person turned $1 into like one of those crazy ones, like I said, like 10,000, and they correctly guessed the first touchdown score in like 4 different games.
Oh,
So
wow.
It's not just this person scored a touchdown during the game, it's this person scored the first touchdown in this game.
I like that.
So the more unpredictable that something is, the better the value is going to be. Because it's like it is you against luck right now, basically. So I've seen some fun, crazy parlays like that. If that's something you're interested in, my suggestion is definitely keep that wager small. What happens a lot of times is we get carried away, and I'm speaking from personal experience, where you hit one parlay and you're feeling macho and you're feeling big, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm putting 50 on the next one, and it's like, simmer down. Simmer all the way down, because parlays, again, big payout, which is awesome, but huge risk.